I'm Diego Cordovez. Welcome to The Scoop, brought to you by Full Tilt Poker. Adam Schofield will be back soon, but today we've got a really special guest, Steve Gross. He needs no introduction to people online. He's known as Gboro780, and he's really dominated online play the last 3 years. In 2008, he was the runner-up for Online Player of the Year, card player. In 2009, he won it. And in 2010, in April, he's already in second place again. And he's won an F-Tops. He was just signed as one of the 10 players that Doyle's Room is sponsoring. And he's a bright, smart guy who is going to talk to us about rising up the ranks of poker. So, remarkably, the last 3 years, you've been super consistent. Second in the Online Player of the Year in 2008, and then first, and already second 4 months into this year. And to me, what's remarkable is not just that it takes a lot of skill, but to avoid burnout seems amazing. How do you cope with that? Has that been an issue at all for you, or just
for sure? Like, I moved out here to Vegas about a year ago, a little less than a year ago, and that's one of the things that's helped me for sure. Is just like not playing every day. Like when I was back at home in my college apartment atmosphere, it was like roll out of bed, jump in tournaments, play all day, order food in and stuff, and then do it all again like the next day. It's just not healthy. So coming out here, I play like just when I want to, like 3 days a week or so, and
so
much more balance.
So you're able to stay up in the rankings just by playing better?
Yeah, I guess so. But I think it also translates, like if you're living better and stuff, that when you actually do play, you know, it's not just like you're rolling out of bed to play. You're actually excited to play because you haven't in a few days and stuff.
You're going to be more focused and thinking more clearly. When you were really just in the mode of playing, and I would imagine after being the runner-up, the next year you're very motivated to win. How many tournaments were you playing a day? How many hours and hands would you be?
A day? I've never been one of like the super crazy volume guys who just has like 2 monitors up with 10, 15 tables. I've always been like trying to pick 5 good tournaments and just focus on those, something like that. But in my like heyday, my like terrible years, I would say probably play like I don't know, maybe like 40 tournaments a day or something.
Really?
Like, yeah, just keep firing them up and
you'd have a bunch going simultaneously.
Yeah, just like I'd play like a set of like 8 maybe, and then just hope to get deep in 1 or 2, and hopefully close one of those out. And
play a strategy so that you gamble, presumably, so that you could
I think the more tables you have,
out.
Yeah, for sure. Like the more tables you have, I think you might gamble more, try to take chances more.
It's interesting what you're saying though about now playing fewer tournaments and focusing more on them, because I think for online players, and not necessarily players who are concerned about the rankings, but just players who are grinding, playing a lot of hands, the strategy has always traditionally been fire up a lot of tournaments, try to get deep in a few, but you're really trying to focus a lot more on the ones you do.
Yeah, I mean, it's like different strokes for different folks, you know, like I can't do the 15, 20 tables at a time and just, you know, mechanically make decisions and you're not even like paying attention to the table itself or the players. You're just looking at the cards, you know. That's not really playing poker. You're just playing the cards. So for me, I prefer to just like be more selective and actually be able to play my game.
And you're actually paying attention to who the other players are and what tendencies they have
and how they're
so forth.
Yeah, for sure.
And exploiting that, as opposed to just some formula where you've got a range and you're just going to play your hand.
Exactly. I mean, those guys might have more shots at the end of the day, though. Like, say, if they play 15, they get deep in 2 or 3. I might get deep in 1, but I do feel like I have a better chance to close it out, not just cash, but to like do good.
Do you see long term that you're going to keep? I mean, because some players have kind of really focused, like, okay, this year I'm going to really get my name out there, and you know, try and win a lot of money or finish at the top of these rankings. You've already been at it for a solid 3 years. Other guys have already come and gone. Long term, are you interested in cash games, live games, other tournaments, or is this still your main focus for the foreseeable future?
Yeah, for sure. Like, I've just been doing tournaments, just like straight tournaments for years.
That's what I mean.
So I feel like live tournaments are definitely something like a beast. Like, I haven't conquered yet, really. So I want to get like
But have you tried, or is that just a?
I've been starting to. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie. Like, I struggled my first year or two. I still think I'm struggling, but like I won something this year in the Bahamas, but I feel like online, it's like my comfort zone.
Right.
I'm at a table there, and I just know that I just feel fine. I feel like the best player there, and live I just don't feel that way yet. Like it's such a different game, so
But
trying to learn.
the thing with live tournaments too is like you don't even know if you're a good player or not based on even
Exactly.
with all the play you're doing online. I don't know how many tournaments you've played live, but even if you played 50, and I don't know if you have,
Right.
you could go for 50 and still be a great
It's
player.
crazy.
You don't know, so
That's how live poker, like it tears you up like inside because you can have a bad World Series or something.
Right. The best
be like-
players have gone 0 for 30
Exactly.
in cashes. I mean, where
You
they
can be like
they
real
win
down on
cash.
yourself when in reality it's just a couple of weeks of tournaments.
But you're saying you don't feel comfortable in the sense that it's a different style of play, or different style of play, meaning that online there's certain tendencies and certain styles, or the live aspect, where people take a while to make decisions or making live reads and so forth, or both.
I'd say more the latter. Just it's just such a different game, and like I don't get me wrong, like I feel I'm learning and I feel good about my live game, like better and better. But I know that I'm not one of the best there yet, and that's just what I'm used to that from online. So that's what I want to be at, aspire to be.
Besides improving your live skills, which will come through experience, have you had to kind of retrench and think, well, I need to use just different strategies, different plays than the ones that I use online? Because I don't play a lot of live tournaments. In fact, I've only played the World Series the last couple of years. But at the
Right.
World Series, I see guys, not necessarily as accomplished as you, but guys who are obviously pretty good internet players, and they're trying some moves that, against
Yeah.
the kind of players, it's not just that it's a different arena, but it's a whole different demographic.
That's what
They're
it
not
is.
going to work. The third bet or the fourth bet in the live tournament doesn't mean what it means online. You already know that. And these guys are still very stubbornly trying to make certain plays.
For sure. Like, like it's just such a different game. Like your ranges have to change. The things you're used to doing online, you got to change that up because people aren't shoving as light on
Right.
in these live tournaments.
But you can also bluff in ways that online might never work, just because people
Right.
are more protective of their chips too.
Yeah, that's what I'm starting to learn. It's just that I think my first few years of live tournaments, and granted it was just like 10, 15 tournaments a year, just here and there, but I think I was just playing way too active, playing like in an online way, whereas live poker is just so different. So I'm just trying to like learn the patience. Patience is like
Right.
it's tough in live poker to just be able to sit there and just wait and not spaz out.
Right.
Like that's the skill, I think.
I've always said that online poker, in a sense, is the best thing that ever happened to guys who are real tilters, because guys lose their patience just because you go an hour, it's only 30 hands or so, you don't
Right.
get a big hand, now you're just like compelled to play online. You have enough tables that even if you lose your patience, all you have to do is wait 30 seconds. There's going to be a decent hand to play, or a decent spot to play, if not a hand. Whereas online, you just end up live, you end up manufacturing a situation just because
For sure.
you can't wait.
Just like in the online tournaments, if you have these guys can have like 12 tables going, 12 shots,
Right.
where they can screw up and blow up in like 10 of them and still have one
no
or two.
biggie, right?
Right. Whereas live, one and done.
I read an article or an interview with you in which you were very humble about your transition to cash games, and naturally people understand now that the absolute best players are playing the cash games and big stake cash games. But with all your success, I mean, how important is it for you to succeed in cash games, and kind of how are you going about it? Because you seem very systematic about how you approach things. How are you approaching expanding your cash game efforts? Or if you are, maybe you are.
Yeah, I mean, I want to do well at cash, but it's not for like anybody but me. I don't care about being known as a cash player or known as being able to do both.
And you've made a lot of money playing tournaments consistently. So
yeah, this is like what I know, and this is what I do well at. But I'm not gonna lie, like since I joined the Doyle's thing, for example, they gave me an opportunity to be in this new Fox Cash TV show,
right,
where it's 100,000 buy-in minimum, and there would be like one free rolling player from I don't know if you heard about this, but it would be
someone
like
who can qualify
Exactly.
on the site.
Like a qualifier gets into the table, and if they can profit, anything they get, they make, they keep. If they don't, if they lose the 100,000, that's fine. So it's like a good format,
Now for you, I mean, you've concentrated primarily on tournaments, so you're going all the way to the $100,000 buy-in.
That's what I'm saying.
Suddenly.
That's what I'm saying. I was like, it's a cool opportunity. I'd love to be on TV and stuff, but that's not me. I'm not a 200, 400 player yet.
Have you been playing online or live or both?
I haven't, but I was just talking to a friend the other day. I thought about sitting in a game on PokerStars that runs the 25-50 limit game.
Mm-hmm.
But even that, like I'd feel more comfortable if I just went up the ranks like I did in tournaments and learned from the bottom and got good, and then can go there with some confidence instead of just jumping in as really the fish. Like, I don't know what I'm doing in cash. I think I'd hold my own, but I'm not a great cash player yet.
And it's not a big focus for you yet either, sounds like.
No, right now I'm just
as long as the tournaments are still good.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Thanks for joining us on The Scoop, brought to you by Full Tilt Poker. Steve Gross has been very interesting, and we're going to have him back next week. Look for us on Card Player TV. Write to us at The Scoop at cardplayer.com.